Welcome to City 17. You have chosen, or been chosen, to relocate to one of our finest remaining urban centres. Hello gang, welcome aboard. This is my personal 2004 Skoda Octavia estate, 1.9 diesel, old fella, Radek, let's call him. Good car, let us go. Indicate off because we're polite. Not strictly necessary in this instance, but whatever. So, this video today, perhaps, could be where the channel goes from here. I don't know, I'll take things off the cuff. One day at a time. Come on, girl. And, spontaneously. So let's see what happens. I had recorded a, car review drive along previously of a 1998 Toyota Chaser JZX 100 4-door saloon with the 1JZ 2.5 litre straight 6 turbo manual transmission. Particularly important that it was a manual from factory. Brilliant car, good lord, ferociously quick, but the outcome of the video was not terrific. The camera was too high up, so all you could see a lot was the visor most of the time, not the surroundings. Because it was a beautiful sunny winter's day, it was blanched for colour. The inside of the interior, good clarity, but as soon as you tried to look around outside, it was terrible. It was a very amateurish, half-baked effort. Checking, good. So after only a few hundred views, the owner did ask politely for me to take it down. She wasn't impressed with our conversation in the vehicle, the gaps in the speech, the how can I say, minimal research that went in prior to the video's construction. So with her blessing, and indeed blessing is the wrong term perhaps, gratitude, but she did ask for it to be taken down. So given that my channel has somehow amassed thousands of you legionnaires that wish to follow in what I do, hello. You'll grant note that I got into lane 2 very early. It's only a 40 mile an hour this bridge, but already I've got someone trying to speed up me inside. Normally there's a lot of traffic here. Yep, the traffic lights are on of a Saturday, so it's normally quite difficult to get in this lane. Normally the traffic's way back here. I'm quite surprised how, yeah, see what I mean? He's doing about 50 across this bridge. That's his problem. Yeah, normally the traffic's way backed up to like the peak of the bridge rather than the lampposts were. So I'm surprised we've made this much progress. Hopefully that speaks for the traffic in the rest of the video. So some of you indeed like the sound of my voice, which I'm quite surprised by. Just watching this Lexus, take sure they don't crash into the side of me. These people are definitely pulling out in front of me. Oh well, truly, this is a red letter day. I am very surprised. So yeah, like, you enjoy the commentary, the spiel, but I feel a great many of you wouldn't know who I am and what I do if it wasn't for them bin lorry videos. And I appreciate, say, the content that I had before on the channel, and indeed still remains. You can look back through the annals of history and see that I've been genuine all along. Yeah, well, there was certainly no talking in these videos previously, and the subject matter would not have necessarily been to your interest, otherwise we'd have met much earlier. So if some of you have stuck around just because you enjoy the way I do things and the vocabulary I use and the timbre of my voice, then thank you very much for joining. Good day to you. Today is Saturday the 12th of February 2022. It is approximately, let's clear this roundabout first, we shall use the multifunction computer in this car, because it's 2004 after all. Grab forth, here we go. So the time is 20 past 10. It is 6.5 degrees outside according to the computer. Overcast today. Today you see me driving on the way from Chelmsford to Epping railway station. I'm visiting my father in London this weekend. We initially had a Genesis tribute act booked at the Hammersmith Apollo, the musical box. Today's date was a postponement from 2021. They've postponed to 2023 now. The hotel was non-refundable, so we're going to have a good day of it. I believe we've got a tour of Westminster Abbey booked up for the early afternoon. Cruise about, walk about, have some grub of an evening, and the next day, I think with free agents, I've suggested London Transport Museum, having never visited previously, but I'm easy. As long as we're in each other's company, that's the most important thing. Blimey, this traffic's flowing as well. God, my stars have aligned. My dance that I did in the garden last night to ensure the traffic was clear clearly has worked. Wowee. Now this roundabout, a bit naughty, people sod about. I'm going to aim for lane 2. But there's a keep clear box, which he's going to sit in. See what I mean? See, with that driving indiscretion you saw earlier, overtaking me on the inside while speeding, I find when... see what I mean? He's going to do it to the Tesla. I find when people do stuff like that, it's 3s. Watch him. See what I mean? Oh, I cut him off. Didn't even keep in lane 1, nor is he indicating off. This is the common thing I'm finding. So it's patterns of 3. So when someone does something, that's not a one-off. That's a regular pattern of behaviour by which they operate. This bird in the events is going to try and overtake me on the inside. There we go. Yes, it's not just, oh, they do no indication or they speed a bit. It's, no. A lot of their driving, they sod about, and it's a regular pattern of behaviour. So the pattern of 3s is, they're not indicating, which probably means they're likely to speed. If they speed, they might well be on the phone, they ain't got the seatbelt on, they're following too close to the car in front. It's just an observation of mine. Again, the comment section is where you get to feedback to me your opinions, thoughts and critiques. You tell me that I'm wrong, I don't mind. I'm humble enough to accept it. So, this car, woohoo! 2004 Skoda Octavia. 1.9 diesel, 90 horsepower, ALH engine, 5-speed manual transmission. There we go. Cool. This is an Ambiente model, so it's one up from the absolute poverty spec model. So from standard, 4 electric windows, electric mirrors, air conditioning, cassette up front, 6 CD changer in the boot. Keep an eye. I'm going to wait because they had the good grace to indicate, and also the distances did not allow. We're going on this one, however. Cool. Yeah, so 6 CD change in the boot, which I've made good use of throughout the years. It had only 2 owners prior to my purchase. I purchased this 2017, I believe. Yeah, 5 years this year, on 110,000 miles. Now at the time, and indeed now, national speed limit, that was a low mileage car, and it still is now. 110,000 miles, 2 owners. All other Skoda Octavia 1.9 TDs at the time, Mark 1 this is, don't forget, the 1U5, were normally 150, 180,000 miles, and more often than not, they would have been either the PD 110s, or if you were very fortunate, like the 130s, such as like the Lorraine and Clermont and the Elegance, that kind of thing. But this is the humble little 90 horsepower. I've run it on veg oil. I put about 30 litres through it before. The maths wasn't there, so having to always carry a spare fuel filter and also change the filter more regularly, the maths didn't work for me. If I had a, don't know why it's cold in here, probably because it was relatively warm when I finished yesterday. Had I a method and a means of which to buy used veg oil on bulk, the maths would work, but it's not worth it. So I just run straight supermarket veg, Sainsbury's normally for the old nectar points. This regularly gives me over 60 mile per gallon. Even with predominantly commuting work and town work, like one journey of say half hour, 40 minutes away, I still get over 50, 55 mile per gallon. This car is ferociously cheap to run. This is the cheapest car I've had to run thus far. Magpie. Checking the indicators. Good. Wicked car. Might not be much to look at. Say it looks like an unlicensed minicab, Uber. Don't get in it from a nightclub, ladies. Might be dangerous. But I love it. Brilliant car. It's done me well. Never let me down really seriously. Obviously, I've had to repair some things and fix stuff up. Again, the car is 18 years old. Had I took the... Ooh, that's pretty dead. Had I taken the plates off, yeah, you could still tell it was 2000s. But I still think the design is contemporary and in taste. It's not got all like the sharp, angry bits or like the LED lights such as this motor has, but I like it. So in my 40,000 miles ownership, 2 sets of tyres, Michelin cross climates in 15-inch diameter, such as fitted now today. I've swapped the original VW steel wheels that came with it. They're sitting in my shed. I've got BBS RZs, 6.5 inch wide by 15 inch diameter. These would have been either optional fit or aftermarket fit to Mark III Golfs and Corrados of like the early mid-90s. Normally they have like a ginormous centre cap covering the wheel bolts, but well, not only did they not come with it, so that's already put that to bed, but I liked the idea of having like a centre cap, so I bought them off eBay for like another 15 quid. The wheels were £130 plus 20 quid delivery. Having lived with them for quite a few months, I can now understand why they might be that price, because the rears have not slow puncture, but they let air out. Every 3-4 days you drop 10 psi, so you have to either before work or more often than not in the works car park before going home, I have to pump them up with a foot pump that's sitting behind me now. Handsome wheels, bit curby, paint's a bit flaky in places, but normally these wheels fetch 350-400 quid without tyres, so you know, allowances have to be made. It's got a 2.5 inch decat exhaust front to rear, of course, so from the turbo, decat, downpipe, no mid silencer and a rear box. Shout out to my guy Dean of Pipecraft Basildon. He fabbed up the system for me. The downpipe is from Dark Side Developments up north somewhere. Jesus, that's a traveller's site. Having done the bins in there previously, oh, it's bad. You'd never want to see that on camera. It's also got he's going far too fast. We're only doing 50 mile an hour, but I can only go as fast as the traffic in front of me. Let's see if we can dip the mirror. No, that's even worse. Yeah, this car's now rapidly filling my rear view. Whatever. I've also got an EGR delete up front because the original one was very filthy. I've cleaned it out, toothbrush and a bit of EGR cleaner, hence the engine management light on the dashboard. But there's much less smoke out the back now from when I first bought it. It wasn't hectic, but whenever you gave it a boot full, it did billow out black smoke. I did the suspension the last year, so new shocks and springs. The offside rear shock absorber was blown, it was dead. When the guy took it off the motor, Leica Performance, Ipswich, Rendlesham Air Force Base, look him up. Leica Performance, specialises in Japanese car maintenance and repair. Motorsport engineering qualified indeed, used to work at Lotus. So knows his onions and his spanners, which is fortunate because you don't want to get the two mixed up. When he took the rear offside shock absorber off, he showed me just how dead it was. The first 6 inches of pushing down on that oil-filled shock, there was no resistance, it was dead. He took it for a quick test drive prior to doing the work, and as I was standing on the pavement watching drive away, the offside rear wheel was doing that, so I'm surprised it drove as well as it did. It used to lean about in the corners, but hey, what are you going to do? It's a family economy car that was a bit tired. So it's got a 35mm drop shock and springs all round. I got him to also install a white line rear anti-roll bar. There was none there previously, so that basically links both opposite rear corners of the car and stops the chassis twisting and rolling so much. So the car corner's much flatter now. Also in relation to that, I got him to install a used but perfect condition, £20 Audi TT / Audi S3 upper strut brace. Again, that's helped the handling no end. Previously on roundabouts, you have to slow right down and you can feel the car sloshing about and slopping. Now, not quite flat like it's on rails, but it is a dramatic difference. Looking at the car, you wouldn't think it turns the way it does. It's quite remarkable how well this drives. Anything else? Of course, you can notice the headliner. That's how the video started. So this was like a £35 piece of Universe Galaxy fabric off Amazon, which is like for wall hack canvas hanging. Quite a big old piece. It's like 2.5 metres wide by like 3-4 metres long. 2 tins of 3M spray adhesive for fabrics, and about 6 to 8 hours. So I removed all the interior trim pieces, lifted the whole headliner out of the car as one piece. It was the original Skoda cream colour. It had like 1 or 2 minor, not fag burns, but like weird circular holes, and it was a bit dirty. Basically, did you lay out, my old dear Calf helped me out. It took about 6 to 8 hours doing it in the garden. Laid out the fabric, pegged it in with like food pegs / clothesline pegs, glue a bit, flatten it, roll it back, glue a bit, flatten it, roll it back. It took many hours, doing like about a foot at a time, making sure it's all tight, using a Stanley blade to cut the holes for the courtesy lights and the door handle grabs, these fellas. But yeah, it looks wicked. So I've done the A-pillars, done the whole headliner. I've run out of fabric to do any more, but I've thought about doing the glove box and this centre console. That comes out as one piece. So I thought about doing that, but it can wait. Also, not immediately apparent unless you're a keen Skoda fan. Oh, incidentally, the A-Cub online, AKUB, it's a Czech geezer who likes my car, and we talk to each other, and he's got a channel full of Skoda content. There we go. Shout out to my guy there, because doubtless he'll enjoy this video. Keep an eye on this junction, because there is slow words in the road, slow. This junction's very naughty for people just zooming out or cutting into the petrol station. So we're keeping a good distance from the geezer in front. Eyes are sweeping. I've just spotted a Triumph Stag. Not bad. Yeah. So yes, other things that might not be immediately apparent as different. This 3-spoke Skoda Octavia VRS wheel. So leather wheel with a perforated Lotus Eclair. Tell me in the comments. Elite Eclair. I don't know. Some old Lotus that's not on a spree. Yeah, 3-spoke Skoda Octavia VRS wheel with proper airbag. It worked. The horn works. It's in keeper, so it's original equipment of better spec models. It's just you got to do screws underneath, take the airbag out, all that good stuff. 5-speed VRS gear knob. Black visors, black mirror, black light. I didn't do the mirror admittedly, foolish of me, because I met a friend the other day and he immediately pointed out there's a grey mirror and a black interior. I was like, yeah, I know. Might be apparent when I turned around at the start of the video to demonstrate the back of the car. Octavia VRS half leather full interior, £65, front and rear seats, incredible. Bit of scrubbing with a 1001 spray, lots of Dettol sprays and all manner of fabric cleaners, leather conditioners and restorers. No rips, tears. The leather is in good condition. £65. £65. Ordinarily, these interiors, the front pair alone, £200, £300. I got front and rear for 65 quid. It was an hour-and-a-half round trip. No, it's about a 3-hour round trip up to Bedford in like the north of London. Thoroughly nice geezer. He was breaking he had a VRS track car that he also day-lead. No interior whatsoever except one Recaro seat, so I think he's a bit nutcase, but best of luck to him. But yeah, these are really comfortable. Previously I had the original Octavia seats, and I installed heated seats. So I unbolted the seats, took the fabric off. I could never get it to fit quite right again. There was like some slight puckering and looseness in the fabric where I took the hog tie rings off. But heated seats, oh, incredible. If you can ever spec it on a car, or if you're buying a used car, try and spec one up that has heated seats. I love it. Many people think you've messed yourself and it's uncomfortable. I love it. Short of massage, it's the most relaxed you'll get whilst driving a car. Brilliant, love it. What else about this motor vehicle? Yes, it's about roll over 150,000 miles over the next few weeks. Guy behind, far too close again. I can't even read his registration, that's how close he's sitting. But again, look at the traffic ahead of me. I've got nowhere to go. He's now hanging on the offside of my mirror, trying to intimidate me to go faster, but I've got 4 cars in front of me, so I'm not concerned about him. He's going to have to wait. If he wants to overtake, he can feel free. In my ownership, genuine VW water pump, genuine Volkswagen timing belt water pump kit, couple of brake fluid changes. I do a oil change under 10,000 miles or 6 months, whichever's the sooner. It's always the 6 months. I use a Mobile one, 5W30 ESP, the one with the green cap. I use MAN filters in all of my cars, the green and yellow brand. Bosch brakes. What else? Oh yeah, something that might be apparent in the mirrors is the tinting that the glass has received. So initially, because I got a dog, King, around, as you saw in a couple of 2 videos prior, I got it to keep him cool. However, I felt it wasn't doing a good enough job of keeping him cool. So you can go straight on in this left lane. She's turning right in this roundabout. Yeah, so I got 20% done at CCS windscreens in Chelmsford. But even when walking past the car, you could still see clearly into the interior. So I was dissatisfied with that, so I wanted to go limo black. Asked him how much that would cost. Yep. I said, well, take that stuff off and then put this on. He said, well, we could do, but If we do that, you might lose the electric heated rear screen because it'll rip the element off the screen. It's like, put the tint on top. So this has now got 20% with a 5% limo above it. You can still see perfectly clearly behind you. I can read the registration of that car now, it's not so close. But from the outside, if you cup your hands to the glass, you cannot tell what's inside the car. So hopefully it does some way to keep the dog cool. I say the aircon blows icy cold, but anything to alleviate the effects of the British sun. Holiday sun, foreign countries, even like 30-35 degrees, nice, yeah, I've paid money to be here. In the UK, when it gets above 22-25 degrees, it's positively Saharan, we can't cope, people die in heat strokes, the roads start melting, we have to shut the airports. It's incredible. Heat here is horrible, but we cherish it because we get about 4 weeks a year where it is just incredible, beautiful, life is good, countryside walks. But it's only a 50 up here. Again, she's tearing around behind me. I keep drawing attention to her, but I'm nervous that she's not really watching what she's doing. She's driving too fast. That vehicle probably weighs 2.5 ton. Now, yeah, this has got NCAP Euro NCAP 4-star rating for safety, but I don't imagine that's going to go very well for me when I get hit behind by a bloody enormous block of steel and rubber. So I'm keeping a good following distance from the vehicles in front, cruising gently. It's all good. We're tickling along. So got a Brodit phone mount for when I use satellite navigation, obviously very much hands-free. Set it all up prior to departure and then just leave the phone. So that the Brodit system is car specific mount. So most cars of like the last 30 years are likely to be covered, maybe even 40 years. I've not looked for that far through their catalogues. And you normally get 2, 3, maybe even 4 options where to put it. So down by the centre console, over an air vent, you can have a pillar. There's a couple of mountings for most cars. And then the second part of the system is what device you're mounting. So for instance, Galaxy S10 Plus without case, and then you slot it in, it docks perfectly. They offer charging mounts, so if you hardwire it into your fuse box, when you slot the phone in, MP3 or sat-nav, whatever it is you got, it will start charging immediately. Incidentally, by my left knee, you might be able to see it, there's a wire there. I'm still looking forwards, but I'm pointing my hand. I've hardwired a 12-volt free USB 3 quick charge in there. So rather than having like a messy cigarette lighter solution going on, dock the phone, flick the switch, which is hardwired in permanently, so you can use it without the engine running. But I'm not sure how much the amperage it draws, so I wouldn't recommend doing that for too long. Yeah, and it's a quick charge, so the blower, juiced up nice and quick. What else to talk about as I'm wending my way through the Essex countryside? We're doing 38 on my dashboard, 38 mile an hour, which is probably about 35. There's 35. There's a Honda Jazz up ahead doing nearly half the speed limit now. I'm going to have to drop down to 4th, that's how slow we're going. Saints alive, this is slow. But man, this car is... why are we stopping? Oh, it's a cyclist. No wonder we're going so bloody slow. There's a high-vis geezer disappearing to my right. I did wonder why they was going quite so slowly. There's his compatriot now, another fella going to follow him down that road. Jolly hazards, man. I do enjoy a cycle. Not that I do it remotely near enough. But I normally do like a mountain bike on cycle paths. I wouldn't... I don't know, where is it safe for cyclists or cyclers, however you wish to identify? Because I watched an important video the other day on that Not Just Bikes channel, the one I mentioned the other week. The guy that lived in the Netherlands for a while. Whenever someone, for instance in a workplace, when someone mentions, oh, how'd you get to work? I cycle, you're a cyclist. You're not a commuter, you're not a driver who owns a bicycle, you are a cyclist, and thus you are answerable for all transgressions of other cyclists. That's nonsense. It's a means of transport, more of which that should be taken up in the UK to reduce our carbon footprint, improve our health, decongest our roads, a bit safer perhaps. But conversely, the driving infrastructure here, and certainly the attitudes, even with the 2022 highway code changes, the cyclists don't half put themselves at great risks. Unless you're in like London with their cycle superhighways, CS5, 7, like the red lanes in the road that are very separate from the road traffic, cycling up here, you'd have to be very brave. I wouldn't be too keen to cycle around in an area like this. But then who's to say that Chelmsford City Centre is any easier for cyclists? Because although it's only 30-40 mile an hour limits, it's very busy. Very busy, traffic's all over on top of you. It's dangerous, man. Cool, so we're heading towards North Weald now, such as the airfield and indeed the railway station. The Epping-Ongar Railway. Christ, why do words keep failing me? The Epping-Ongar Railway departs from the station we're about to pass in a short while. We might, if we're very fortunate, see the Heritage bus fleet running today. So 14 quid normally on their special running days, normally weekends, sometimes they do bank holidays. They operate a variety of steam and diesel driven locomotives, and they haul old railway stock. It's only about a 20-minute trip end to end, but a bit of heritage and nostalgia. The stations are preserved in like the old decor. There's even a roaring open wood fireplace in the North Weald station. You get your little ticket stub, and it's a nice day out. I've done it twice now. I much prefer the diesel day. No, I've done 2 diesel days, but the second diesel day was like a teeny tiny little locomotive that was run by like a little putt-putt canal boat engine, whereas the first steam day was a Class 37 locomotive, big, huge, thumping old thing. Speed camera, keep it under 30, because I don't trust like that. Don't give them the opportunity to have that conversation. I follow the speed limits rigorously anyway, because not only is driving my livelihood, but also it's my means of freedom and mobility. Got to keep it easy as I overtake this Asda van, because now I've got no view of what's coming towards me. So nice and easy, hang it wide. I've clocked the cyclist. Yeah, Epping-Ongar Railway, good day out. Oh, good, he's gone the path. Good man. Oh, he's doing a wheelie as well. Now is the good time to do a wheelie. Oh. Impressive, yes, well done. Congratulations on your balance and skill set. But as you're riding beside traffic, with Christ knows how many pedestrians coming towards you, really isn't wise. Yeah, so Epping-Ongar Railway, good day out. Would recommend. Yep, there's enough space. Say more about cyclists around here, man. It's not quite Dutch levels of ridership, but it's reasonably busy for what is a non... Well, I suppose this is a large village or town, but it's not as if this... To connect to anywhere else, you've got a long old ride. There's not a great deal of stuff going wrong around here. This is just where people live, a little parade of shops, railway station up there. Yeah, so why people be riding on this road, unless they're going from like Epping to North Weald or what have you, I don't know. I've never seen this roundabout so busy. So if that white... No, it's not, it's turning left, so we'll have to wait for these 3 motors. Bring the handbrake on, so we're stopping for a few seconds. Taxi going to keep him waiting. Good, we've got a blocking pattern, so we're pulling away. Yeah, so Epping-Ongar Railway, good day out, 14 quid, unlimited rides. Ongar itself has a couple of things to look at. So for instance, it has the, if I remember correctly, the world's oldest wooden Christian church. I'm sure it's like the 11th or 12th century. It's about mile and a half, mile 3/4 walk from Ongar railway station. It's worth a look. Some very old headstones there. There was one in particular I seem to remember. Someone that died in 1940, 1950, who was aged about 110 years old, which I thought was very remarkable. I'll lean forward in my seat. My eyes are looking ahead. I'll tilt my head back a bit. That little aircraft, there's a North Weald airfield to my right. So there's little hobby aircraft, there's a market of a weekend, there's a lot of buses there, and I think there's a haulage company there as well, if I remember correctly. Once we accelerate into this national speed limit, you might see some double-decker buses parked up on the right. Cool. We've got the M11 just ahead, crossing over our heads. So M25 is like the outer ring of orbital motorway of London, and then the M11 links like the northern part. There you go, there's your buses. The M11 links the northern part of the motorway into London, leading you to like the North Circular / Redbridge, I can't remember the other boroughs, the North Circular of London. So if you look this up on a map, you'll see what I mean. So yeah, this car, Skoda Octavia, 1,600 quid. That's a subject that I deviated from earlier, because my thought strain is wending along as I'm driving. I paid £1,600 for this car. If I say I bought a Ford Sierra years ago for 600 quid, but they both remain like the most expensive cars I've bought. I've had 5 years service out of it, over 40,000 miles. Speechless now. Yeah, 1,600 quid. The reason why I chose this particular example, low mileage, low owners. Granted, it was like sort of like the SDI, the suction direct injection, like the suction direct injection, like basically the non-turbo diesel. Oi, Routemaster, beams, and a thumb. That's the Heritage bus line. I'm pretty sure I might have ridden that very bus. They also run a Leyland National, which I've had the fortune to ride before. Yeah, so 1,600 quid, 2 owners, 110,000 miles. Other Skoda Octavias of the time, I say if it was like the PD 100, 110, the 130 engine, even of a similar spec, be it the Ambiente, the Elegance, the Lorraine and Clermont, named after the 2 founders of the Skoda Motorworks company, they were normally like still 1,400 quid, but these cars are like 150, even 180,000 miles, and we're talking 2017. So these cars would have only been like 12, 13 years old at time of viewing, and these, I say, nearly 200,000 miles back then. This only has 150,000 miles now, and it's nearly 20 years old, so this is why I chose this example. There was another one I was looking at, only on like Auto Trader, that's where I found this car. Visually, absolutely identical. It had about 20, 30,000 miles more, so it would have been about 140, 150 at time of viewing, 2017, but it was the Auto. And I think that's a 4-speed automatic. And I was looking at the figures and I'm thinking, yeah, automatic, nice and easy, cruising about. But it was only a 4-speed auto. There we go. And on any given cycle, it would have got 10 miles per gallon less. So where this gets in real life, 60, 65 to the gallon, that would have been 50. Maybe high 40s, low 50s. And I thought, well, I'm purchasing a diesel. One, because I hadn't had one previously, and also because it's a means to save money. So I thought, well, if I'm going to be trying to save money, then I may as well get the one that's most likely to cause the least aggravation, because automatic transmissions, although not inherently unreliable, do require a bit more maintenance. Please do not believe that any transmission is sealed for life with their fluid. That's nonsense. That's life of the definition of the manufacturer. So the standard life of someone holding onto a car might be 5, 10 years or 100,000 miles. But please don't think that means the fluid needs never change. My mother used to work a BMW Mercedes specialist in Chelmsford, and they had all manner of issues with cars coming in that have like 6-figure mileages, and it'll be on the original transmission fluid, and the transmissions will be slipping or going into limp modes, and when you drain the fluid out, it's like you're draining out molasses. Such was the filth and degradation of fluid. So yeah, that's something I've done in these all my cars now. Change the transmission fluid either very soon after purchase, or certainly within a few thousand miles. Castrol, Mobile, or even genuine fluid if I can find it. In this, I'm using Febby. It's normally like a silver and red bottle. 75-90 weight, so 75 winter, 90 fluid. GL4, that was crucial. I was looking at doing the transmission fluid again recently, having done, say, 30,000 miles on this fluid. And looking in through the VW Mark IV forums, so it's just a Golf and a blouse, this car. Slightly bigger though. That's something the Octavia normally has on the Golf, is it's the same floor pan and equipment and what have you, just different badging and trim levels, but they're normally slightly bigger on the interior. So for instance, a Octavia hatchback has like an extra 3-4 inches in the interior somehow. Sorcery, I say. That's because the body's longer as well. So yeah, I was looking at fluids, and I was thinking, oh yeah, we'll get Mobile 1 fluid because they're a good brand. And the bottle would say like, oh yeah, API GL1, American Petroleum Institute, API GL4, GL5. And then when I was looking for the VW Mark IV forums, for the 01J or 1JA or transmission, whatever this is called, they said, this is not cross-compatible with other fluids. Do not get stuff that's rated higher and also for you. So for instance, GL5, oh yeah, it does GL4, because some people were saying it was stripping the teeth off their ring gears and destroying their transmissions. Most of these were posts from people in America. Just watch this pedestrian, he's crossing behind me, that's not my problem then. So yeah, it wasn't worth destroying my transmission, so I'll probably just get another bottle of the Phoebe stuff and do it in the summer, because I'm not too eager to get on my back and start huffing and puffing in the winter. But yeah, I like this car. Whilst we're stationary in traffic, have a quick look. Oi, entertainment. Do like an audio cassette. Well, I would listen to it today, but I thought I'd make a video instead and keep you people entertained. Yeah, get on that horn. Yeah, do like my audio cassettes. You can see down my left knee, you probably can't read the writing from here. Genesis, Seconds Out. Extraordinary live concert. Palais de Sports in Paris, 1977, I think. That's my father's cassette from the late 70s. He's had that because him and I are now the custodian of it, of course. It's got a 2-part album, but I'll show you part 1 before the pedestrians stop crossing even. Oh, it's an incredible album, man. Really, if you haven't listened to it before, if you're not... We've watched a Genesis concert 2007 at Twickenham, live over Europe. Truly brilliant evening. That was the first like major concert I've been to. I've been to tribute bands and gigs, but that concert blew the top of my head off. And ever since, and also having a childhood of having music rammed in my ear holes, whether or not I wanted to listen to it. That's why I say I like all the old stuff now. Pink Floyd, Dire Straits, Genesis, The Who, The Smiths, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that Genesis album, Seconds Out. Oh, I've got it on CD, I've got it on cassette, got it on Tidal. I bought my mate the LP. I found it in the charity shop for £40. Oh, it's an incredible album. Well, chunky old woofer, I would say we're about at our destination now. So there's not much to show here except me parking the motor up, checking the crossing. I'll wait. I don't need to, but I'll wait. Because if I'm not waiting, then someone else might hit him down. See if we get any acknowledgement. Cool. Yeah, so I think we'll wrap the video up here. I've wasted quite enough of your time talking nonsense. Right, we'll zoom in. Kia Stinger. So it might be a V6 turbs, it could be a V8, who knows? You have to slow down, matey, because I'm already overtaking that motor. Blind corner, not great, that's why you don't park on double yellows near junctions. Yeah, so I'd say this wraps the video up nicely. I imagine the video length's, I don't know, 30, 35 minutes perhaps. I've not checked the trip computer for time. Look at that. If you can read the dashboard, I'll lean forward again, my eyes are looking forward. Average MPG for this trip so far, 65.6 mile per gallon. Incredible. On half a tank of diesel, projected range 345 miles to 300 miles driven. Mental. Stations down here. I've got a parking space booked up down here rather than at the station, so I bid you well. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see each other again soon in some other videos. Have a good day. Be safe. Be good to each other. Love you all. Thank you all for your praise, gratitude, comments, and love. Have a good weekend, a good day, morning, night, wherever you are, whatever you do. Thank you for watching. See you again soon. Cheerio.